Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, however you are watching and or listening. Welcome on back to Prime Time Parlay, presented as always by Prime Time Productions. Before we get started, before we go any further, just want to say we are not professional gamblers. In fact, more often than not, we're not very good. So, that being said, do not take what we say as gospel. Do not take our picks thinking that they are guarantee winners, because gambling is very hard and we are just a couple of guys trying to make people smile, laugh, and we do give out picks. If you or anybody that you know has a gambling problem, please consult 1-800-GAMBLER. Give them a call, because you should always gamble responsibly and always gamble at your own risk. That all being said, welcome back to the show. We have a great one for you today. Unfortunately, due to the snow in the Northeast and probably other places, I believe, but specifically the Northeast, we got dumped on. Professor Puck is usually a Tuesday guy, but his power went out at 5:00 and his phone was dying, so he will not be joining us. But we have a very special guest joining us once again. And we have Brett on the ones and twos, coming off of his flu game. There he is, looking a little bit better. And without further ado, as you can see, it is Papa Bear, Wade Kruger, a.k.a. Justin Caggiano. How we doing, brother? Good to see you again.
I'm okay. Hey, two and one last time, so hopefully I do okay this time.
Keep it going. Yep, let's keep it rolling. Yesterday, I have the records. Still have not hit our primetime parlay, which is what I really want. I could care less about my picks as long as I hit one of them, and that's the parlay. We need to hit that, so maybe we can get that tonight. I went 1-2 with the only win being the Rangers, baby. Let's go. One of my picks was Knicks -4. I had a free bet with FanDuel. A free $25 bet because I had said that Gronk was going to miss his kick. So they gave me the free bet. And I did Knicks Rangers parlay. And I didn't watch the end of the Knicks game, but I had it on my game cast. And it looked like it was tied. And it literally said 103-103 with no time left. And then a second later, I saw that the Raptors.
Oh, yeah, that was a thing. That was a... according to as Jalen Brunson said, great call. Next question.
Yeah, so I'm almost glad I didn't. And the Rangers, obviously, that was a big win, good win.
Devils too.
And I
back on the board.
What's that?
I said Devils too, back on the board.
Yeah. What, 3-1 last night, right?
Yep, 3-1.
3-1. So they're coming on. Hey, that's a good start. I had Kansas money line. I went 1-2. Ian, after going undefeated in his first stint with us, he actually went winless last night, 0-3. Tom starts off hot 2-1 with the new records. So we all had a little bit of a pass last week, but we're starting to keep the records now. And then Brett, you had a big miss on the parlay, but
dude, it was so close too. Boosie texted me. He was like, you might hit this. It was 10 minutes left in the third. Game was tied at 2. And he's like, you might hit this. I was like, wow, here we go. This is not going to go my way at all. Then Northeastern scored. And I was like, all right, let's I didn't give it out because it's something I should have just said. If I ever bet a tie in a parlay, anybody watching the show, bet the tie separately too, because I'm going for the tie. I just think the team's gonna win, and maybe you could throw a little more juice. Then it goes from plus 390 to plus 580, right? It just brings up. But I did hit my tie, not with the show, where I've even told Pat don't record it. It was not with the show, but I did make my money back. But Boosie, I'm gunning for Boosie right now.
Man of integrity, 1 and 2. Boosie mushed you there. He totally mushed.
Big mush.
Did you pick a tie today? Because there's at least one NHL game that I think a tie is a good bet on today. It wasn't part of my bets, but there is one game that I'm looking at that I'm like, that could be a tie.
I didn't today. But I think I'm gonna be the tie guy going forward. I think that's what I'm looking at.
Whoa! There's only one tie guy on this show, buddy. Come on.
That's a bonus. Carolina, Dallas. That feels like if ever there was a tie game, I feel like that's a tie.
And this is what I love. Yeah,
so this is my thing. I went back today because I was like, now I'm curious about this. I went back and I scrolled through 2 years of gambling, which not 2 years, but 2 seasons as hockey. And I did that because I don't really bet on baseball much. You know, it's here and there in the off season. I try not to lose as much money when I'm not watching hockey because, you know, I'm already losing enough this season. So I did go back. I am 6-2 in tie games straight up since the beginning of last season. So I think I'm just going to be the inherited tie guy going forward.
Oh, man. Good man.
We might have to start a tie club.
We might have to. Shout out Hammer Time. That was one of the coolest. I got to keep the tie guy strong. I might have a surprise, by the way, in the show. So stay tuned. And throw those out there, because I didn't even realize that was a thing until last night. And you said, Brett, you had mentioned that the tie was 3, is that generally how
plus
it goes?
390. Yeah, it was plus.
It's usually like
350
and 400, I would say.
Really?
Yeah. I'll explain it a little better when the graphic comes up because Justin picked a couple 3-ways. It's under the 3-way tab or 60-minute final. It'll be like regulation each team, and then right in the middle it'll say tie. And like Justin said, it's normally plus 350 to plus 400 somewhere.
Maybe you guys can learn me a little bit more on the 3-way. I know Puck tried to explain it the other day, but it's still kind of over my head.
Well, I have a couple today, so
I love it. All right. Well, that being said, let's bring up the graphic 1s and 2s, man. There it is. Hey, and we got Ian in the chat. Hey, Brett the Hitman Howard. Love that. That's a great nickname. We might have. Hey, we'll see.
I was named after him and Brett Hall. So.
Oh wow, really, Bret Hart?
Yeah, Bret Hart and Brett Hall.
Yeah. Brett Hall, PJ, not Bret Hart.
No, both. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, my mom was a wrestling fan, so Bret Hart, and my dad loved Brett Hall. So
the man who should be on Canadian currency, Bret Hart.
Yeah.
Love that. Well, boys, as the people can see, we have our picks on the board, and I think Brett, were you going to read off Tommy's? Just for sake
I have Tommy's here. We'll go bottom to top. I'll send them to you. I had to make room on the graphic for POP and Justin. POP obviously had some technical difficulties that he's dealing with. We hope he can get back on the power side of things soon. But Tommy's got Boston Bruins -1.5 puck line. He has Hurricanes money line and Predators money line. That's what he's rolling with right now. He said Predators money line because, sorry, Justin, Devils are 1-7-1 in second games of back-to-back this season.
1-8-1.
1-8-1. There you go. Even better. But yeah. So then I laid off a lot of betting tonight just because I'm still recovering from my sickness. So I was trying not to do the whole deep dive, but it is Brad Marchand's 1000th game. So I'm going Brad Marchand over point. It just feels like if there's locks, there is never locks. But if there was locks, this one would feel like a lock to me going into tonight. I've seen a couple people have it. POP, he had his pick of the day, Dallas Stars money line. He had Ducks Canadians over 6, and he went with the trend Brad Marchand anytime goal scorer. I do want to add that Boosie Betts hit us up as well on the behind the scenes on the Twitter sphere, and Boosie Betts is also going Brad Marchand anytime goal scorer and over 0.5 point. So we're riding hard on Brad Marchand tonight.
I'm hopping on that as well. So add me on that train as well. That's awesome. Yeah, and I just wanted to. Since he's not here, but he put out the tweet. Puts out his picks. If you're not following him at Professor of Puck, he had a great football season. He's just a sharp gambler for them, and he's getting into a lot of different sports.
He's up to 50% on hockey now too.
Yeah, I was gonna say he struggled with hockey in the beginning, and then now he's back. Hey, don't call it the PrimeTime Parlay bump, but since he's been on the show, he's been doing pretty well.
Vegas is in shambles when they see him picking puck right now.
Yeah. Oh, he had the Wild last night, and that ruined a couple people, but. Yes, like you said, Stars money line. And then I just want to say, Stars shine bright, he said. Avs break out of the slump. Ducks and Habs goalies can't stop a beach ball. And Marchie scores in his 1000th game. So that was POP, ladies and gentlemen. Justin, Papa Bear, why don't you take us through yours and learn me a little bit?
So yeah, I got 3 picks here. As much as I wanted to bet the Devils game, because I think this is going to be the game that they win both halves of a back-to-back. They've been playing really well. Apparently, Curtis Lazar said during the All-Star break and after, they really went back and adjusted their system, and they've looked like an entirely different team the last few games. I mean, going 0-0 with the Canes, beating the Avs, beating the Kraken. They look like a different team, and Jack Hughes is back. But I don't trust them enough, especially because I think it's going to be either Vitek off of sickness or Schmidt in net, who just got called back up. So I avoided that game as much as I want to bet it. But the first one I went with Sens minus 1.5. They're playing the Blue Jackets. The Blue Jackets, I wanted to bet the over here because they're 2 of the worst defenses in hockey. But like I could see this being like a 5-1 or something, like, or a 4-2. So I went Sens. Sens are hot. They won 3 in a row. They've been playing good. When they win, it's usually by a few. They've been beating some tough teams in overtime, but the Blue Jackets are not a tough team.
And if they want to move back up the standings, I saw that these 3 games are very winnable for them. So I took that. When I saw your pick, I was like, oh yeah, because they got Blue Jackets, Ducks, and somebody else coming up, and they're going to be firing on all cylinders.
And they just beat Nashville. They just beat the Leafs.
Great game.
And Columbus has Tarasov in net tonight, who is his goals against is almost 4.
Oh, wow.
The logic makes sense. So now I have these 2 3-way bets. So a 3-way bet is it's me predicting the Islanders and the Canucks to win in regulation, no overtime.
Okay.
So usually if it's a favorite, that gives you better odds, obviously, for them to just win outright. I went Islanders. They're getting the Kraken on the second half of a back-to-back, which means Joey Decord is not in net. I think it's Phil Grubauer's first start in about 2 months. He hasn't started since December 9th. That feels like a bet that like you have to take, especially with Sorokin in net fresh. Islanders also need to win these games to get back and to stay in this hunt. So that feels like a smart bet to me, especially at home. Same with the Senators. Senators at home. Like it makes sense for them to win. And Canucks, they're playing Chicago. Chicago's at home. The only reason I didn't go with the minus 1.5 is they seem to play close games at home.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think the Canucks will beat them. I don't even know who's in net. I don't think it's been announced, but they should win outright before overtime against the Hawks, even if the Hawks keep it close.
And another thing too, Pat, with the 3-way money lines, like I call them like regs. I'll put money line reg, same type of thing. If you ever see reg, it just means that they're winning regulation. But another thing I do, like for the Justin one that he had, when I was like, oh yeah, Senators, if I'm just gonna straight up bet the puck line, I always sprinkle a little bit on regulation, because if you're convinced they're going to take the puck line, they have to win in regulation to take that puck line. So it's just extra money on the multiplier. If you're right.
So 3-way is just a fancy way of saying win in regulation.
Yeah. Because the 3 ways are the 2 teams in regulation or the tie. Those are the 3 ways.
And does that give you better odds than like a big
So they're like he was like Justin was just saying, like a huge favorite, the Canucks, even though they're on the road, you take that regulation, it bumps it from like, let's say -220 to -150 something.
Yeah. Oh wow.
I think the Canucks are like -300. Yeah. But with the 3-way, I think they're like -180. So like 160. So it boosted.
On DraftKings, I use DraftKings. Like
So when you click the game, it'll give you the option on the top of like alt money line or 3-way. I'm trying to remember the exact.
It'll be like alt over under, alt 3-way, and like alt puck lines. So you could do like a reverse puck line, which are fucking hard to hit. That'd be like a reverse puck line. If you ever hear me say that, that would be if Justin took Chicago to win by 2 at home. Even though they're like, the Canucks are favored.
It's listed on here as 60-minute line.
60-minute line.
I've heard that
So
before too.
That's what that's what three-way? That's it?
Yeah, that's
Yep,
a
that's it.
three-way. It's not a menage a trois, but if it hits, it feels like it.
All right, wow.
It's my tagline.
I see. I've been trying to conceptualize it, and again, and forgive me, Professor Puck, because I know he did a good job at the time. My brain might have just been on my bets or something else. But yeah, no, that's really good. We're trying to learn people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
to give you an idea, right now the Islanders on the 60-minute the three-way line are minus 115, but to win money line they're minus 166.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So it moves it like a good 50 plus sometimes.
Yeah,
if not more.
sometimes. Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow, that's pretty cool. All right, cool. Well, hey, you learn something new every day. Here on PrimeTime Parlay, rhymed. And we had a comment.
Unintentional.
The Bruins make me money. He has a kid coming this week. First
Also,
of all,
I saw a few guys. Obviously, a lot of you guys are on the Bruins in different ways. I was also tempted as one of my three to do the under in the Bruins game.
Yeah.
With Olmark in net against Vasilevsky, I feel like that
it's a good bet.
Yeah, goals
should be an under.
Yeah. Well, and now that I know this, I mean, I'm going to stick with just the outright win, because my record might help out if they do go to overtime. But I think I might have to look at the three-way bet for.
Yeah, I use it. I use it a lot if I'm using it in a parlay and I'm trying to boost my odds a little bit. So like these three I have right here, I put in a parlay for like $3, and it's like to win over 20 because the odds are boosted so much with the three-way plays.
Wow, jeez, I have.
It's a game changer. That's what I was saying, dude. If you're if you're like I said, if you're like Justin tonight and you're like Senators by 2, I always take the 3 line just because we
might as well.
Yeah.
And
I don't go ham. I just give it a little sprinkle, right? Just because it just helps things out a little.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. Wow. All right, guys. Well, let's go. So I'll run through mine real quick. Celtics -9. They're playing. The reason I take this is because New York has been kind of a second home for the Celtics this season, both in the Garden and Barclay, and they're playing the lowly Nets tonight, and their record hasn't been great against the spread on the season. I'll be honest; I think it's just below 50%, but they are wagging. They're a great team, and instead of taking the money line, instead you get a more even number. So I'm gonna ride them there. They were really good in the beginning of the season against the spread, and now it's just later in the season they've kind of fallen off a bit. Bruins money line, we kind of talked about that. Marchand. The whole spectacle, the goalie matchup. I'm going to ride with the boys. I'm riding Boston, as you guys can see. And then my next pick, I don't know if anybody noticed, but I started off with more of a Bruins-esque tie. Now, I don't know if you guys can see that. Got a little purple going on for the Evansville Purple Aces. All right, Evansville, Indiana, if you aren't familiar. I honestly wasn't until today myself. But I've been writing statistics when it comes to college basketball. They are the 17th best team against the spread in college basketball, 9-4 away and 7-4 at home. Then they generally cover by about 3. So they're getting 8, as it says right there, right? That's what I get. Yep, they're getting 8 against the Drake Bulldogs, who are a good team, but are not very good at covering. They, as away favorites, they are just 3-3 on the season, and in general, they are completely even, 50%. So I'm riding a little bit of stats there. I know I'm 1-1 with my Morehead State bets so far, so we'll see where the cookie crumbles today. And just wanted to throw a little. See, I mean, there it is, right? A little Bruins-esque right there, and then bang. I mean, the man of many ties here on PrimeTime Parlay. But boys. Let's get into our primetime parlay. I believe ones and twos has it, and this is the one we need to hit. So I hope we all brought our best bets. I'm a little nervous about mine, but I'm sorry.
Say yours quick, just because I had like 6 given to me today, and I didn't write them down. Pat, what's yours?
I got to look into the.
No worries, Justin.
I'm not sure if I told you Bruins money line or not.
I mean, mine would be the Islanders in that
Islanders?
three-way.
Yep.
Because
I never
just
actually saw
cracking on a back-to-back. I feel like they
Yep.
like you can't trust Grubauer. He wasn't good when he was playing. 2
No.
months not playing, there's no way.
No way.
I'm gonna throw Bruins money line in there. Actually, you know what? Bruins three-way.
All right.
Let's go. Hey, you guys talked me into it. I know I have a money line on the parlay, and that stays, or on my picks, but I'm putting Bruins three-way.
Sorry, Justin. Tommy Stats went Nashville money line.
Oh no.
Man.
Oh no.
Now I'm starting to think this is the one we hit because Pat's
Oh,
going
man.
against his Rangers with the Bruins. We got Justin with the Islanders in the three-way, and then Tommy Stats Nashville going against who? Tommy Stats is a big Devils guy too, so everyone's going against their team tonight.
It should be that like I said, that one is such a crapshoot to me. Like the
Yeah.
Devils are I almost bet it just because the Devils are underdog, and I don't think Nashville's that much better than them, especially on paper. But it's like you got Lindy versus Brunette, like they were on the same staff last. It's an interesting one for sure.
The game.
And where is that game?
In Nashville.
That is in Nashville.
And the Devils were here yesterday. That's what scares me. And I don't know who's playing goal.
Yeah, that's a tough travel day.
It
I'm gonna
is.
put this together real quick.
Like you can never be sure with Jack. Jack Hughes just shoots it off guys' heads from behind the net. It's disgusting.
It's so crazy you say that because the game we lost against, like Bruins lost against the Devils this year, I think it was in overtimes. I think Brack got the OT goal, but I was watching Hughes go around the ice and I was on the phone with somebody who was also watching the game, and I'm like, how does he move like so fast? And it's like he doesn't even fucking skate. Like it's amazing to me.
He did it again last night. He literally banked it in off DeCord's head from
It's
like
insane.
From like the goal line. He's
a sick puppy. That kid. He's such a good interview too. Like the Gato interview, like so good. I love that.
The walk-off stick Selly.
Oh yeah, so good. So
he's just the Hughes boys or something else.
Yeah, these kids are finally showing some sort of
a picture the other day with Jack and Luke on my Twitter.
Oh, did you? I didn't see that. Yeah. I've been off Twitter the past couple days. I've been dying in the realms.
Yeah, they had a season ticket holder event a few weeks ago, and I just got the photos. And it's sorry Quinn, but I'm the third Hughes now.
That's hilarious. I love that. I'm gonna have to check that out after this. That's awesome.
Boys, awesome. I just got it in and I'm up against it. The powers that be are trying to yank my two ties here, but we have the parlay, we have the Islanders three-way, Bruins three-way, and Predators money line. That play on DraftKings just now pays plus 531, so $5 wins you 26 and change.
Let's go.
Again, always bet responsibly. Maybe this is the one we get, which would be great for me since I just put that in. Just saying.
If it is, we all have to bet against our teams going forward.
Yeah, I mean that might be the way to go, especially for the parlay, because I mean I hit the Rangers, but what are you gonna do? Yeah. I don't want to get on the Rangers. But tonight we're Evansville fans. Tonight we are Bruins fans, Brad Marchand fans, Senators fans. Let's go, boys. Let's have a day. We'll be back tomorrow. They are pulling me, but I think we're at a good time. So everybody enjoy your night. Thank you again, Justin, Wade, Papa Bear. We love you. I know you'll be a fixture of the show going forward. So everybody have a great night.
Let's see how I do this time before we call that. I might go 0-3 today, and you guys might.
That's a good point. Yeah, and then I'll just never hear from you again. Yeah. All right, boys. Everybody have a good night. Thank you for tuning in. PrimeTime Parlay presented by PrimeTime Productions.
Let's go.